Once upon a time, there was a little Cyndaquil, and her name was Annie. She was a happy little Cyndaquil on YouTube, until suddenly a mysterious glitch happened. Someone used a leaf stone on her, and then things happened, and she became the famous, popular ANNIECARROTS. Oh, and Paiopa was still a Paiopa, lagging behind. No, I'm just kidding. So, hey folks, my 1,000 subscriber sub special is actually here now, and I'm really thankful to all of you guys for the support. I appreciate you all watching my videos, and the support I've gotten is just more than I could comprehend. I never imagined to reach a milestone of this big. I hope to continue more and gain more subscribers and support in the future. I'm just really happy that people enjoy my videos, and so here we go. It's an exchange battle against the one and only ANNIECARROTS. And the way an exchange battle works is, well, this was actually invented by XSQUARESTICKIT, is that, okay, you can decide, how many pokes you want to exchange, and we decided 2, and so obviously 6 Pokemon on a team, and you're gonna, say, okay, I'll take your 3rd Pokemon, and you can take my, and then they decided, okay, I'll take your 2nd one, and I'll take your 4th one, you can take the 5th one, and you just exchange them. So that's pretty much how it works. And so she decided to exchange my, well, you pick a number, and obviously you don't know what you're going to get. You only find out what you're going to get after the trade is complete, obviously. So the unfortunate thing for me is she took 2 Pokemon that I wanted to feature, which was my Dusclops and my Mismagius. So that didn't work out too well for me. So she's going to get my Dusclops there, and I'm going to get her Probopass. So this should be pretty interesting. I've only used a Probopass a couple times, the one I have. I'm not really that fond of it, but it's an overshadowed poke, basically. It's an underused poke, and nobody really ever uses it on Wi-Fi, so this should be a good challenge for me, I think. And now she's going to take my, Mismagius, the new one I've came up with, Magenta. I like this Mismagius. It still needs a little work in progress, but I think it's pretty cool. And she's going to give me that Creeper thing, which was at level 2? What? I was like, I just noticed this right now, but it was EV trained, which was apparent from the battle, but I was just like, wow, level 2, that's, how the hell did she EV train? I don't know, well, whatever. Still, as long as it kind of worked out, but actually, so we're going to exchange Pokemon. I'm going to get this creepy looking thing, and I was just like, oh god, I hope she doesn't, basically massacre me with my own Pokemon, because that would really suck. That would really suck. So anyway, the trade is complete, and I'm videotaping this to show that no modifications were made whatsoever, no addition of artificial ingredients or preservatives, just a whole natural Pokemon the way they are. So here we go with the battle. Hope you guys enjoy it! So Annie leads off with a Crobat, and we were just using whatever, the way Pokemon was really meant to be played. None of that tier crap. So anyway, I go switch into her Eggo, fearing the Brave Bird, because I didn't want to take it, Skuntank would be oh, pissed off. But she goes for the Super Fang, and I was like, ow! You really like taking a chunk out of that Eggo, don't you, Annie? And she goes for a taunt, obviously expecting, well, the Probopass is her Pokemon, so of course she's going to know what I'm going to do with it. But this is really, I'm in a tough situation, because I don't know what the hell I can do. I decided to just stay in, and Earth Power is the only thing I can do. She was like, what? Are you Earth Powering? Don't you remember Battling Boy? And I was like, yeah, but I don't have a safe switch in. You have this Crobat that's taunting and Brave Birding everywhere. What am I supposed to do? And she goes for the Brave Bird, obviously, and Creeper, I at least had the chance to switch in, because she went for the taunt. And I go for the Dark Pulse, and I was like, okay, what the hell, Annie, that did crap. And she's like, oh yeah, duh, haven't you seen me use Creeper in my videos because it's defensive and stuff? And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm like, Eggo, girl! And she's like, no, let go my Eggo, stop exploiting it. I'm like, that's the only thing I have to switch in, I can't do anything. And Super Fang is obviously, Super Fang is only useful to a point, because it, it does reduce your HP by half. And Brave Bird I can take no tomorrow. So she just goes for the taunt again. I thought, I just went for Thunder Wave, I don't know, I thought maybe she would go for the Brave Bird instead, expecting to switch back into Creeper. So, we just decided to both switch out, and, because, the stall war is just, getting really annoying. Unfortunately, I get a bad switch. She goes into my Magenta, who I know can take on this Creeper thing. So I go back into her Eggo, and she's getting pissed off that I'm exploiting it, and, of course, the special defense drop happens because, I'm exploiting Eggos, and that's illegal in a Pokemon battle. And the Shadow Ball is just I go for the Thunder Wave, because I didn't know if she was going to switch back into the Crobat. If she did, that would have been awesome to get a Thunder Wave on it. But that isn't the case. And now I can set up Stealth Rocks, which is, I guess, pretty cool. That will help me against that stupid Crobat of hers. And she goes for the Shadow Ball, gonna take me out obviously with special defense drop. And now I go into Skuntank. I go for the Swagger. Finally, I can use this thing. I use this thing against the acoustic kind. It was like died in one hit against his Articuno. But I use Swagger. Yeah, this Skuntank is like, he's just like swaggering stuff, you know, like crazy. The magenta hurts herself. Yeah, Grudge is a move I have on it, which I realize at the time now is not that great. I mean, I could have just put Destiny Bond, but I don't know why. I got this idea from XSQUARESTICKIT sort of, and I was inspired to use Grudge, but then I just realized, you know, I could have used Destiny Bond. That's a lot better. So I'll probably do that later on. She decides to switch, which was like bad for me because I go for the punishment, which would have been nice to get it off after the Swaggers. I guess I used Swagger too much, but she goes into my Igor, and I'm like, oh my god, no, I wanted to show people what it can do. So I go for the Swagger again, and yeah, she's gonna like, what's she gonna do? She's gonna go for the Wisp, and it misses, which is unfortunate for her, and I'm just gonna punish that thing with punishment, because that's what Skuntank does. It punishes you with its stinkiness. And punishment is a cool move because it actually works based on how many stat boosts your opponent gets, so that's where Swagger comes in handy. And now she goes into her Fritos, and I'm like, oh crap, that thing is going to destroy me. But I go into Creeper. I don't know why I went into Creeper. I should have went into my Flygon named Flak. I don't know why it's called Flak. It's just the only name I could think of. And he goes, I could have avoided the Earthquake, but she goes for the Night Slash, gets a critical hit, and I'm like, Annie, I hate you. And now I'm like, Flak, go, do something. And I'm like, oh my god, what the hell? She's faster? Where did that come from? But I had a Sash anyway, so it didn't matter. But I go for the Earthquake now of my own. I'm like, you call that an Earthquake? Take a Earthquake. This is a real Earthquake, Annie. Super effective in your face. Get out of here. And that was cool. Now she goes into her pants, and I'm like, whoa, pants don't come out right now. I'm like, I'm going to retreat. Go into my Venusaur because it's pro, and it can take the Shadow Ball, obviously, because what Jolteon doesn't pack Shadow Ball, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, I go for the Light Screen now because I know that Jolteon can't touch me. And she brings out Lick Me, and I'm like, I am not going to lick you, Annie. That is just uncalled for. Now I'm going back into Skuntank. He's going to go... I think she's going to kick my ass for calling her a he. She goes for the Ice Beam, and thankfully with the Light Screen, you know, my screen of light that protects me from ice is going to help me out. She goes back into this Crobat, and I'm like, oh crap, I swaggered that thing. But maybe that'll work out, maybe it won't. Thankfully for me, it actually does, because she'll end up hitting herself in confusion, which was nice. That's a bulky Crobat, actually. Yeah, I've never seen a bulky one before. Actually, I've come up with my own bulky version, but I just haven't used it yet. And I go for the punishment, because you need to be grounded, Annie, for being a bad girl. So now she goes back into her pants, and I'm like, okay, this thing starts substituting on me. I'm like, take a poison jab to the face. And yeah, obviously that's gonna KO the sub. Hopefully, anyway. Jolteon, come on. Now she goes. My Light Screen goes away, which was like, oh great. And now she goes for the Thunderbolt. I'm like, Skuntank, come on, please. With all your friggin' HP that I've invested in you, you have to live. But no, she does KO the Skuntank, and I was like, oh, okay, Life Orb. Like, duh, that makes sense. Go back into Venusaur. She goes back into her Ice Popsicle, and I set up Giga Drain. No, I don't set up. I use Giga Drain. I didn't really know what was gonna happen. I just went for the Giga Drain. Probably would have been a good idea to set up the Light Screen. Well, I do that now because I know I'm faster. And she goes for the Ice Beam, and this is where things get really rocky. She's gonna get the freaking Freeze Hacks on me, and I was like, oh my god, no, not now, please, not now. So I have to switch out Venusaur. Obviously, I go into Braveheart, and she goes for the Ice Beam again, and I was like, oh my gosh, crap, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is really bad. Now I just have to hope this Overheat barbecues that piece of crap, because Braveheart always comes through for me. I'm hoping it'll do the same. She survives, like, just barely, because Regices are, like, especially bulky as hell. I mean, oh my gosh, that was... And I missed the second Overheat. I don't know. Maybe I should have gone with Thunderbolt, you know, but, like, my thought process was like, okay, maybe my special attack is lower, Thunderbolt's Wild Stab is not super effective, maybe another Overheat would have done the trick. And she got to take off. She got to go for the Rest, and she has a Rest Sleep Talk set, which was like, oh god, I hope she doesn't get another Ice Beam. Thankfully, she doesn't. But I'm not able to like wake up, and I mean not wake up, but thaw out. What am I saying? I'm not able to thaw out, and Venusaur is barely hanging in there. I'm not even able to thaw out again. So this is just really going nuts. And now it's up to Flak. I just go for the Rock Slide, you know, super effective. Maybe I'll get a Flinch Hacks, I don't know. At this point, I'm hoping for anything. I don't get it, though. She's going to finish me off with an Ice Beam, and then obviously Braveheart is going to go down to an ice beam, because even I don't think an overheat is gonna KO her. So that was a good game, Annie. Thank you for battling me for my 1K sub special. This was definitely a lot of fun. Maybe we can have a rematch later, and in the future. That would be nice. So thank you all again for 1,000 subs, and well, it's actually more now, but what can you do? I was just lazy in getting this thing up. Whatever. So see you later, and have a good day.